Any conversation about medication when we're talking ADHD has to involve a discussion about self-medication. What do we mean by self-medication? A lot of people might not realise that many of us self-medicate every day. The most common thing that we self-medicate with is a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Caffeine is a stimulant. It gives us a perk in the morning. It helps wake us up. We have caffeine in a lot of fizzy drinks like Coca-Cola. We also self-medicate with other things like sugar, carbohydrates. We know that overeating can be a problem with some people who are not managing their ADHD successfully. People are craving sugar because it actually stimulates the production of dopamine, which is that neurotransmitter that we know works in a different way in an ADHD brain. So overeating is something that particularly people with ADHD might find a problem. We see children with ADHD craving sweet things and sugary drinks because they're burning off energy that quickly that they need a quick fix of energy, and they are then getting accustomed to that rush of dopamine every time they eat food, particularly sweet foods. But let's be honest, sometimes we also self-medicate with alcohol, don't we? We get home from a day at work, we're really busy, and we'll have a glass of wine, and it's probably not for the taste, it's because we associate that with relaxation. Some people self-medicate with nicotine. And this is where we need to get very careful about self-medication, because self-medicating can become an addiction. And one thing that we do know is a concern with ADHD is that people with ADHD are more vulnerable to addictions. So what I would suggest to you is, if you're going to have an addiction, choose a healthy one. Exercise, moving, stimulates the production and utility of dopamine in your brain. Many of you might not feel like doing any exercise. If you're anything like me, you always feel better coming out of the gym or better at the end of going for a jog or a long brisk walk than you may have felt at the start of it. That's the whole point. Dopamine rewards us for doing things that are good for us, that give us pleasure, like physical exercise, like human intimacy, like eating food, like moving, dancing, listening to music, enjoying the company of friends. All of these things can stimulate dopamine. So develop healthy addictions like exercise, hobbies that interest you. Please moderate your use of caffeine in tea and coffee. Avoid becoming addicted to cigarettes and tobacco, because nicotine will harm your health in so many other ways. Avoid becoming addicted to alcohol as a way of helping you self-calm. And avoid at all costs illegal substances like cannabis and cocaine. They work in a very different way in the brains of people with ADHD. People with ADHD who use cannabis can find themselves having very, very unpleasant side effects. People who have ADHD who've used cocaine can very quickly become addicted because it doesn't have the same effect on somebody who has ADHD. Please be mindful. Think about how you medicate or self-medicate yourself. If you are going to drink tea and coffee, drink it in moderation. Don't drink it before you go to bed. Drink alcohol in moderation or not at all. Avoid starting smoking, but please, please avoid any of those other harmful, illegal, addictive substances. And if you're going to have some addictions, make sure they're healthy. Exercise, a nutritious diet, things like that. Good social life, hobbies, interests, things that give you joy and pleasure. They're the kind of addictions that are fruitful and helpful for anybody with ADHD.